Bitcoin will be the largest currency in 20 years, right? And so once you get to that largest position, and it'll be bigger than gold, right? So that kind of number is, I think it forces people to start denominating things in Bitcoin. And I think it will also be used as a means of exchange, right? So I think, even well before 20 years from now, I think Amazon will take Bitcoin, I think you will be able to pay your rent in Bitcoin. I think you will be able to get Bitcoin at your bank. I think Bank of America will sell you Bitcoin, and they'll have a column to see your balances in Bitcoin too. If you want the safety thing, I think probably for the next 20 years, it's just going to be Bitcoin. That's it.
Yeah.
So the way I would look at the portfolio construction is, 70% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin, and then the other 30% kind of like really kind of whatever you're fascinated with, whatever your passion is, right?
Fred Krueger begins by addressing one of the biggest debates surrounding Bitcoin, its volatility. Critics often say that Bitcoin can't function as real money because its price swings too much. Krueger doesn't deny that. He admits that today Bitcoin's value can soar high enough to cover a year's living expenses, only to crash and be worth far less in a downturn. But he insists this volatility is temporary, a natural stage in Bitcoin's evolution toward becoming a fully monetized global asset. He thinks Bitcoin's purchasing value will eventually stabilize, whereas fiat currencies, which are saddled by debt and inflation, would lose their purchasing power as more people embrace it and liquidity grows over the next several decades. If you're intrigued by bold predictions and deep financial insights, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more engaging content. Thank you for your support and enjoy the video.
There's going to be both systems, right? And so the question really is the price of goods and services going to be more stable in Bitcoin terms at that point, or more stable in terms of dollar terms? So one of the things right now, if people say, well, I can't use Bitcoin because it's way too volatile, which forget the price of Bitcoin, just talk about the purchasing power of Bitcoin, right? It's very volatile right now, right?
Yeah.
You can live for, let's say you could live for a year off one Bitcoin at 100,000, and then all of a sudden you can't live off of it at 20,000, right? Then you could live like a king off of it at 1 million, right? So I expect that the purchasing power of Bitcoin in terms of goods and services is going to be more stable 20 years from now than fiat. Fiat's going to be unstable. It's going to start getting unstable, right? I think that we're going to have big inflation, big drops. I mean, we could see people, and I think a lot of people will be like, look, I just don't even want to deal with fiat, right? It's too unstable, So I think the same criticism that people have about Bitcoin right now, they're going to have about fiat. They're going to say, fiat's too unstable. I just don't want to deal with it. I'm a Bitcoin only kind of shop. And I think people are going to start thinking in terms of Bitcoin more, And I think companies in particular are going to start thinking, okay, how should I look at my balance sheet? Well, they're going to have to do two numbers. What's my balance sheet in Bitcoin? What's my balance sheet in dollars, right? And did I make money in Bitcoin terms, or did I start losing money in Bitcoin terms, or did I make money in Bitcoin terms? I think right now it's not, the bar to making fiat return is not that hard. The bar to making a Bitcoin return is going to be very hard. Which sort of tells you that, a lot of these companies, they're gonna have to, it's gonna be, that's where you're gonna have the problem, right? Is how do you make a Bitcoin return? How do you justify a lot of companies out there, right? In a world with, fixed supply. How do you don't, right? And how do you justify lending Bitcoin? I mean, you got an asset, a house, and somebody says, well, great, I'd like to borrow some Bitcoin against my house. Great. Well, your house is depreciating at 5% a year in Bitcoin terms. You want me to give you a down payment and you're gonna pay it back? How are you gonna pay it back, right? The collateral is going down, way down, right?
Yeah.
So, and probably wages are gonna go down in Bitcoin terms too. So if I say, you got to pay your mortgage is, I don't know, let's just say your mortgage is 1 million sats a year, right? Well, how do I know? Right now you can make $1 million sats a year, but 10 years from now, you're not going to be able to make $1 million sats a year, right? That's a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can lend it to you, Joe. Like $1 million, that's a lot. $1 million sats a year, I can't lend it to you. I'm going to ask a really high interest rate, and it's going to be really hard to qualify for that, especially with this crap collateral you're giving me that's losing 5% of value, right? I mean, in a decade, your thing's worth half as much. I could repossess the house. Great. I get half of my loan, right? Yeah. So I feel like I think lending is going to be really challenging. I really feel like the housing market is going to completely change, right? And you realize, and I think the same thing is true with stocks. I think so much of the stock market and the housing market is just an illusion that's based on money growth. When you take the money growth out of it, it's like a lot of stocks return zero, net of money growth. So why do people store their money there? Well, they could just store it in Bitcoin. I just think that a lot of things, if you want the safety thing, I think probably for the next 20 years, it's just going to be Bitcoin. That's it,
Yeah.
So the way I would look at the portfolio construction is, 70% of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin. And then the other 30% kind of really kind of whatever you're fascinated with, whatever your passion is, right? If your passion is, I know you love golf,
Yeah.
Maybe there's some new golf course that's being developed somewhere, or some golf club technology or something, right? Invest in that. Maybe you're not even going to make any money in it, but it's going to be fun, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of, I think, is a good, because we were talking about it at kind of this conference that I just finished.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, what's in the 30% if you're 70% Bitcoin? I said, somebody raised their hand and said, passion. I think, that's great. 70% is your passion, your passion investments,
Additionally, Krueger cautions that a significant societal and economic revolution powered by artificial intelligence is imminent. He thinks AI will automate a significant chunk of the world's workforce, resulting in the loss of millions of jobs. And low-skilled workers won't be the only ones impacted. Advanced humanoid robots may soon be able to perform tasks that were previously regarded to be safe, such as engineering, building, or plumbing. According to Krueger, this change presents both risk and opportunity. Widespread job losses, unstable economies, and rising inequality pose a threat. However, Bitcoin presents a potential as a financial lifeboat amidst inflation and automation. According to him, Bitcoin is the best defense against an unpredictable future since it is a store of value that is accessible to all people worldwide, unaffected by monetary manipulation, and operates outside of governmental regulation. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable post notifications for future Bitcoin, macroeconomic, and digital asset content before we go any further. Now, let's get into his powerful predictions.
Do you think we could have a crash in traditional markets? I'm not saying it has to happen, but it could, right? So we could have another 2008 type event. We could have another COVID type event. We don't know, right? But if I had to guess, I think there will be some kind of event between now and Bitcoin 10 million.
Yeah.
So, it feels like there's going to be some event, right? That we're basically, what the hell do we do? The world is totally changing. Bitcoin's going to go up 100x in purchasing power. It goes up 30x or 25x, but still an amazing opportunity of purchasing power, life changing, right? For those who actually hold throughout the whole period. Bitcoin is probably the largest currency.
Yeah.
So it's like when you get to right now, you rank the currencies, dollar, yen, won, yen, pound, Bitcoin, it's down there. But Bitcoin will be the largest currency in 20 years, right? And so once you get to that largest position, and it'll be bigger than gold, right? So that kind of number is, I think it forces people to start denominating things in Bitcoin. And I think it will also be used as a means of exchange, right? So I think, even well before 20 years from now, I think Amazon will take Bitcoin, I think you will be able to pay your rent in Bitcoin. I think you will be able to get Bitcoin at your bank. I think Bank of America will sell you Bitcoin, and they'll have they'll have a column to see your balances in Bitcoin too. So I think we're going to sort of actually be in a hybrid system 20 years from now, and it'll be hybrid on all ways. You go to Chipotle, scan something, pay with sats. So I think that's going to happen then. So I think at this point, it's not going to be a secret anymore at all. Most people will have some kind of Bitcoin in some form. Not everybody, but some, will have some savings in Bitcoin. And I think that's really roughly when it happens. And I think there will be some institutional things that happen. I think, maybe oil starts trading in Bitcoin, sort of, it becomes more of a neutral reserve asset and a way of doing international settlements for trade. And the other thing I think about AI is whether it's the left or the right that is in charge, they will know everything, right? So we're going to have an era where you're not going to be able to hide, really. You know what I mean? So, they're going to get you no matter what in terms of, even spending your Bitcoin or whatever. They're going to get you. But I do think that, right now getting your Bitcoin could be kind of the lifeboat to this transition. And then ultimately, I think it's very positive, right? Like ultimately, I think, once we transition to the new world order where the machines are doing all the work and we have the stable monetary system, I mean, it's great. That's a great place to be. And that's, I just think it's going to be we've never gone through anything like this. So any historical analogs are not accurate. Like a lot of people say, well, the Industrial Revolution, they said it was going to put everybody out of work, but everybody found jobs. And it's true. But maybe this time is different. Maybe this time actually we do have major problems with it. On the other hand, maybe AI just creates so much abundance and wealth that, that counterbalances things. So
Fred Krueger depicts a future characterized by fast automation and artificial intelligence that is both promising and dangerous. He cautions that you run a significant risk if you don't hold Bitcoin. He thinks that as artificial intelligence develops, millions of jobs will go over the course of the next 10 years, and that once humanoid robots start working, even conventional trades like plumbing won't be safe. According to Krueger, there will be significant social, economic, and political turmoil as civilization moves into unfamiliar ground. He therefore views Bitcoin as a lifeboat, a means of maintaining wealth and freedom in the face of this change. According to him, Bitcoin serves as a buffer against both technological upheaval and the demise of established financial systems, making it more than just a speculative asset. In the end, he sees a future where machines do the majority of the work, and society runs on a more stable monetary system, something he thinks Bitcoin might help make happen, even if he acknowledges the shift would be difficult. Additionally, Krueger claims that there is no science behind it, drawing comparisons to antiquated medical procedures like bloodletting. He claims that most financial advisors are still stuck in the past and are overly preoccupied with index funds and short-term gains, despite Bitcoin's steady outperformance in recent years. Similar to how it took decades for Vanguard's index fund concept to acquire popularity, he thinks it will take time for investors and institutions to completely accept Bitcoin as a viable asset class. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications if you thought his viewpoint was helpful so you don't miss any updates. We'd love to know what you think about the future of cryptocurrency markets, so please share your ideas in the comments section. We appreciate your time and hope to see you in the next video.